Hey everyone, welcome back. So, in our first two lessons, we really dug into the why of the Unity method. But today is all about the how. We're shifting gears from the big ideas to the nitty-gritty, the actual practice. We're going to break down the 5 core pillars that are the engine of this whole thing. You ready? Let's jump in.
Okay, before we go any further, I want us to just sit with this for a second. This right here is the foundation. It's not some fluffy feel-good quote, it's the absolute non-negotiable starting line for this work. The entire Unity method stands on this one belief. You are already whole. Our job together is just to clear away the stuff that's made you forget. So, that begs the question, right? If we need tools to remember who we are, what are those tools? I mean, it's a beautiful idea, but how do we make it real? How do we actually do it? Well, that is exactly what today is all about. All right, so here's a quick look at where we're headed. We'll kick things off with that core idea, you are not broken. Then we'll introduce the 5 pillars and dive into how they work together to restore your body, rewire your brain, and really light up your path forward. Okay, section 1. So, first things first, we've got to talk about the huge shift in perspective we're making here. You know, a lot of traditional approaches, the ones that come from the DSM, that big book of diagnoses, they can saddle you with labels. I'm anxious, I'm depressed. And pretty soon, those labels can feel like a life sentence, right? Like that's just who you are. The Unity method throws that whole idea out. It doesn't start by asking, hey, what's wrong with you? It starts with the unwavering belief that there is nothing wrong with you. You are whole. Period. So that's a great idea, but how do we actually live it? That's where the 5 pillars come in. I want you to think of them like the 5 major beams that hold up a brand new house. They lock together, they support each other, and they create a foundation that's built on your own strength and dignity, not on some diagnosis. And here they are, the big 5. Number 1, wholeness over wounding. 2, somatic restoration. 3, relational repatterning. 4, neuroplastic empowerment. And the last one, number 5, acceptance over forgiveness. Now, it's super important to get this. These aren't steps you take in order, like a recipe. Nope. They're a totally integrated system. They all work together, constantly supporting each other to create this complete, holistic path back home to yourself. Okay, so let's dig into the first 2 pillars and see how this whole structure starts to take shape. We're going to start with the 2 most fundamental parts of being human, really. The story we tell ourselves about who we are and the actual physical feeling of being in our own bodies. Pillar 1. This is the bedrock. Wholeness over wounding. Here's the absolute key takeaway. Your trauma, your diagnosis, your pain, those are things that happened to you. They are not who you are. And that changes everything. The goal here isn't to fix someone who's broken. It's to partner with a whole person and help them remember the incredible resilience they already have. And look at this comparison. It really drives the point home. On one side, you have the old way of thinking, I am anxious. See how that statement just fuses you to the feeling? It becomes your identity. But look at the Unity lens. Anxiety is an adaptation to be understood. Whoa! Suddenly it's not you. It's something your amazing body and brain created to protect you. It's a strategy. And if it's a strategy, we can get curious about it. We can understand it. Okay, on to pillar 2, somatic restoration. And this one is huge because you absolutely cannot just think your way out of trauma. It doesn't work. We've all heard the phrase, the body keeps the score, and it's 100% true. Trauma isn't just a bad memory in your head. It's a physical state your body gets stuck in. So the healing has to happen in the body. And look, this doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as, in a moment of panic, just stopping, putting a hand on your heart, feeling your feet on the floor, and just breathing. That's it. That's a somatic practice. You're sending a direct message to your nervous system that says, hey, right here, right now, we're okay. And this slide just nails the difference. A purely mental approach tries to argue with anxiety. It's like you're in a debate with your own nervous system. It's exhausting. But the Unity method, it works with the anxiety. It recognizes, hey, anxiety is a physical thing. It's a racing heart, it's tight shoulders, it's shallow breathing. So we don't try to outthink it. We soothe it. We use the body to calm the body. We're restoring that feeling of safety from the inside out. All right, so we've got our foundation, right? We have a new story of wholeness, and we're learning to create safety in our bodies. Now we're ready to build on that.
let's get into pillars 3 and 4. This is where the magic of rewiring really starts to happen, both in our brains and in our relationships. Pillar 3, relational repatterning. This is so important. Think about it. Most of our deepest wounds happen in relationships, right? So it only makes sense that the deepest healing has to happen there too. In a truly safe relationship, maybe with a therapist, a partner, a good friend, we get to experience something called co-regulation. That's a fancy word, but all it means is that our nervous systems actually sync up and calm each other down. Just being in the presence of a calm, safe person can soothe our own system. And that experience, it literally helps us rewrite the old, painful blueprints we have for how to connect with people. And again, look at this distinction. It's night and day. The old way of looking at it can make you feel stuck. Oh, I have an insecure attachment style. I guess this is just me forever. It feels like a life sentence. But the Unity method says, hold on, those patterns aren't you. They were incredibly smart strategies you developed to survive when relationships didn't feel safe. And here's the best part. If you learned them, you can learn something new. You can absolutely reshape those patterns and build the secure, connected relationships you deserve. Now for pillar 4, and this is where it gets really exciting. Neuroplastic empowerment. This is where we pull back the curtain and show you the science behind the hope. We're not just saying, hey, believe you can change. We're showing you the biological proof. We teach you that your brain isn't some fixed concrete thing. It's alive. It's constantly changing, rewiring itself based on every single thing you do and experience. It's an incredible superpower you have. Just let that sink in for a second. Your brain can change. Healing is biological. This is the engine of all hope in this work. We know for a fact that traumatic experiences can physically change the brain, wiring it for fear and high alert. But if that's true, then it is a biological guarantee that new experiences, healing experiences, can wire it right back towards safety, calm, and connection. This isn't wishful thinking. It's your biological birthright to heal. Okay, we've made it to the 5th and final pillar. And I'll be honest, this one can sometimes be the toughest to wrap your head around, but man, it is also the most freeing. It takes on this huge, heavy burden that society often puts on people who've been hurt. And here it is. This is a game changer. Acceptance over forgiveness. Here's the core idea. Your healing is yours. Full stop. It does not belong to anyone else, and it absolutely does not depend on you forgiving the person who harmed you. Forgiveness can be a beautiful thing, for sure, but it can never, ever be a prerequisite for your own healing. Instead, what we focus on is radical acceptance. And that just means accepting the truth of what happened, accepting the reality of the pain, and most of all, accepting your own power and your own agency to decide what comes next. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It sums up not just this pillar, but the whole Unity method. This isn't about learning coping skills to just manage your symptoms for the rest of your life. No way. It's about restoring your dignity. It's about looking back at your own story, at every single adaptation you made to get through, and seeing it not as a sign of being broken, but as a testament to your incredible strength. So when you put these 5 pillars together, you can see it, right? They don't just give you a couple of new techniques. They offer a whole new map, a completely different way to think about what healing even is. And that's really the big idea here. The Unity method isn't trying to be one more wrench or screwdriver you can throw in your old therapeutic toolbox. It's aiming to be a whole new toolbox, a different framework, a different language, and honestly, a whole new level of possibility for what your healing journey can look like. So I want to leave you with a question to just kind of mull over. What if your story isn't about being broken at all? What if every single thing you've ever judged yourself for, every symptom, every so-called flaw, is actually evidence of your brilliant ability to adapt and survive? What if your path forward has nothing to do with fixing yourself and everything to do with reclaiming the powerful, resilient, and totally whole person you've been all along? Thank you so much.